Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
Trump. Vote Juliana.
Trump. Vote Juliana.
Trump. Vote Juliana.
They said it, not me.
The job requirements explicitly of ICE agents is to be a member or supporter of white supremacy.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here, and today we've got to talk about this viral moment from a political candidate in Chicago. Now, it's gonna buoy your heart. It's gonna make you feel good because we've been waiting for someone to act like what's going on is actually going on. With the Hakeem Jeffries out there and with the feckless Chuck Schumer, who both care more about their money they get from the prison companies and AIPAC than they do about the American people. In the face of authoritarianism, we have a hero running for Senate, excuse me. Listen, this is who we need to be voting for. This is who we need to be putting in office to get rid of the feckless octogenarians and the people paid off that we're so mad at. And the only reason we have to vote for them because the other side are literal Nazis. This will buoy your heart. Then I have a second video about the response that we all need to be having. How we do not, how we should not, how we cannot allow decorum to dictate decency, morality. How we cannot follow the rules when they're not being followed by the people who hate us, Americans, who destroy lives, who are raping children in concentration camps, who are actually picked up in stings for soliciting minors. Listen, everybody out there is frustrated. The political climate that we're in is full of people on one side who gaslight, which is also going to be part of the second clip, and support and lift up and elect PDO files. And the other side, well, they're not as bad, but they're feckless and still corrupt. In that type of political climate, we need stories like this. Watch this candidate, Southside Chicago, running for the Senate, and it is chef's kiss. Watch this. We're going to talk about it all the way through.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
They said it, not me.
There's creativity there. By the way, I forgot to tell you, this is a political ad. When I said the political response, this is a political ad. This is not an SNL skit. Okay?
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
They said it, not me. I'm Juliana Stratton, and I'm proud to have lived my whole life on the south side of Chicago. I'm not scared of a wannabe dictator. I'm running for Senate to stand up to Donald Trump. I'll abolish ICE and hold Trump accountable for the crimes he's committed. Just like they said, fuck
Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Vote Juliana.
That's why I approve this message.
Yeah, no notes. No notes. Fuck Trump. You see, the problem is we've been living in a world where Democrats have so constantly been feckless and foolish and stupid and have been expected to be the weakling. And now that doesn't mean that they haven't done anything right. Believe it or not, if it wasn't for Democrats, half the shit wasn't for progressives of their time and Democrats now. Half the things you enjoy, like the weekend, like a 40-hour week, like what we used to have, healthcare, where it doesn't matter about your pre-existing conditions. That's now going away. These are things that Democrats have done, and raising the minimum wage. Sure, what I'm saying is that was good enough, just good enough. But when authoritarians and authoritarianism is knocking at your door. And you realize that the person that the other side is voting for is someone who said publicly, like to grab women by the pussy. And I just grabbed them and kissed them without asking. And that didn't derail his campaign. And when you realize that the Epstein files have come out, 3 million, when there's supposed to be 6. I think whatever it is, the 3 million that have come out, pages that have come out, have the entire administration all over it. And the media is still wondering how to treat it. When you realize that they have said on their shows, 14's not so bad. At least they weren't 8. You realize that if you're not willing to change, which most of them up there are not, the Democrats, you're fighting for a voter that no longer exists. Fuck Trump. If you can't say that, you're not ready. You're not ready. And when you hide behind decorum, and when you hide behind the idea that we don't need to sink as low as them, win once in a while. You win, then you can tell me that. Because from what I've seen, asking for body cameras and better training of ICE officers who shoot people in the back. And when you find out that those ICE officers who shot people in trucks in their face and then called them a bitch afterwards were the trainers, I find you to be disingenuous. And when I realize that you're also getting paid by the same companies building these concentration camps, you get paid by the prison industry, and you're a Democrat, well then no wonder you won't abolish ICE. She will. That's why she can say fuck Trump. That's why she doesn't have to reach across the aisle. And that's the reason why people like Marjorie Taylor Greene have gotten out. Because the donors that she does have, well, they knew her when she was a QAnon supporter. So the whole Epstein file thing, the Donald Trump file thing where Epstein appears once in a while, they don't really feed her. They're not going to feed her. So she's gone. Yeah. I'm wishing the rest of you would also leave, Hakeem Jeffries. I wish you were gone. Goodbye. I wish you'd let somebody younger like this people. What's going to happen is we're going to turn it around and they're going to try to steal the election. But the energy we need is not what do we do if they steal the election. The energy we need is fuck Trump. They don't believe what they're saying. Whoever's left in MAGA are just PD3 file supporters, sustainers, right? That's what they are. We're done. I just want to show you the rest of this little video.
This ad's going really viral right now. A lot of people are talking about it. Republicans are upset. They're furious. And I find it hilarious. Like Jen, this, Illinois Republican, just because they said it doesn't mean it's worth using in a political ad. This ad is another example of how, quote, progressives are responsible for the loss of civility in politics. That is the most... That's like akin to saying that, like, we didn't land on the moon or the earth is flat, the sky is green.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Progressives are responsible. The point is, whatever it was you were looking for in your civility and decorum is lost. When you use it, they say you were eating children. And when you respond like they do, they cry like babies and say it's your fault. Fine, let it be. I don't care. Neither does she. Because she realized that the only people that matter are the people who have the response necessary to end this. Not the people who had the response that was working 50 years ago and reaching across the aisle. They're not going to end this. They're going to call for body cameras and better training while ICE is shooting people and raping people in detention centers. Here's the second video, and this warms my heart, and we're going to talk about it.
Today, Operation Creep arrested 2 ICE officers for repeated offenses in soliciting minors for sex. One of those was responsible for a myriad of background checks for those that want to serve in ICE. He's responsible for their background checks. Most of those background checks deliberately don't come back until they're already on the ground performing duties. They're deferred. They get 47 days of training in honor of the 47th president. These are the words of Christy Nome.
And I just want to make sure you see the lady, that distinguished lady, black lady with the gray hair and glasses. I just loved her nod. She's just like, baby. I love it anyway.
47th president. These are the words of Christy Nome on the White House account on Truth Social. I had 10 weeks to learn how to march, give a reporting statement, salute, and the basics of military life, followed by 12 weeks of training to learn to handle and inventory high explosives and precision-guided munitions. And then another year of apprenticeship in a 3-inch thick journal of training manuals, just to be a journeyman in my career field in the Air Force. The job requirements explicitly of ICE agents is to be a member or supporter of white supremacy.
If you don't think that's true, maybe I'll put it here where you can see the advertisements for yourself. That is it. 47 days to honor the 47th president, who you will bend down and kneel to.
ICE agents come directly from the KKK, from the Proud Boys, from January 6ers, who shouted and were sent to hang Mike Pence, who brought pipe bombs to our Capitol. The incompetence is the point. The terror is the point. ICE is the executive branch's terrorist organization. The atrocities do not end at the detention centers. They are merely checkpoints for a myriad of human trafficking violations. Myriads of human beings, our God's brothers and sisters, and our sheep's pasture, our family, our friends, the mothers of children who are U.S.-born citizens, disappeared into the night and sent to God knows where, in God only knows terrible conditions, deported to countries they are not from, to slave encampments, to concentration camps, unnamed, deprived of their rights, their property, their money, never to be seen again. Others shot in the back, on the ground, their hands splayed, their eyes full of pepper spray.
Excuse me.
Disarmed explicitly 2 full seconds after they were disarmed, shot in the back in front of all of us. A true community servant who worked for my VA.
Excuse me, sir, your time is up. Thank you.
And here's the point of the entire video. Excuse me, sir, your time is up. Says who? Says who? When I say the reaction we're looking for is those who realize that the time is up. Excuse me, sirs. Those rules no longer apply. You have to take him off that microphone. I found out the same thing when I saw, I wish I knew her name, maybe I'll put that here too, where she decided that because the rules said in the Congress that she had to stop talking and they hit the gavel's just a piece of wood. Only reason why we stopped talking and we allowed this amount of time is because we agreed to it. When you realize that you've not agreed to the law and decorum anymore, I will not either. This is the response. YouTube, excuse me, sir, your time is up, is the wrong response to being shot in the back. Everything he's saying is worth more than, excuse me, sir, your time is up. No, the truth is, excuse me, America, Your time is up. Your laws are up. Your decorum is up. You have to make us follow that now. As the federal government goes into Atlanta and takes the voting machines and absconds with all of the evidence with no receipts. So no one knows what they took. So whatever they come back with doesn't matter. You can't test it. And as they deny the rights of human beings to human beings, disobey the Constitution, abscond with human beings, and send them to places they don't come from, and the laws no longer matter. Excuse me, sir, your time is up. You're fucking right it is. America, your time is up. Your laws no longer matter. What matters is that this is the response humans have to watching suffering. Those who haven't been brainwashed by a Fox News and a right-wing demonic party that has turned what may have been at one point decent human beings into monsters that have the brains of insects and follow putrid, orange, dying skin cells attached to a pea bag and call him president. Your time is up. This is the response. Will you follow the orders? I was just following orders when he said, excuse me, sir, your time is up. According to who? We, the people, say we're just getting started. That is the appropriate response. The appropriate response from people wanting to become lawmakers and voting and want to get voted on this year. Your response had better be close to what Juliana's response is. You better prove to us that you're no longer following the rules that they won't follow, because that would be a stupid person's response. The appropriate response to authoritarianism is the appropriate response to obvious and rising authoritarianism is comedy, absurdity, yeah, art, yeah, education, sure. And a disregard for the rules that brought it there. Yes, that's correct. One by one, we're weak. The authoritarian state can take us up, abuse us, apply these same laws. In that room, I dared them. In that room where that black lady with the beautiful silver hair was going, child. He now has the power of the people, whose response should be, fuck Donald Trump and fuck your rules and regulations. Because if you don't follow them, I sure as hell will not. The time to fight is now, and I'm going to play the entire clip of this hero right now.
Today, Operation Creep arrested 2 ICE officers for repeated offenses in soliciting minors for sex. One of those was responsible for a myriad of background checks for those that want to serve in ICE. He's responsible for their background checks. Most of those background checks deliberately don't come back until they're already on the ground performing duties. They're deferred. They get 47 days of training in honor of the 47th president. These are the words of Christy Noem on the White House account on Truth Social. I had 10 weeks to learn how to march, give a reporting statement, salute, and the basics of military life, followed by 12 weeks of training to learn to handle and inventory high explosives and precision-guided munitions. And then another year of apprenticeship in a 3-inch thick journal of training manuals just to be a journeyman in my career field in the Air Force. The job requirements explicitly of ICE agents is to be a member or supporter of white supremacy. ICE agents come directly from the KKK, from the Proud Boys, from January 6ers, who shouted and were sent to hang Mike Pence, who brought pipe bombs to our Capitol. The incompetence is the point. The terror is the point. ICE is the executive branch's terrorist organization. The atrocities do not end at the detention centers. They are merely checkpoints for a myriad of human trafficking violations. Myriads of human beings, our God's brothers and sisters, and our sheep's pasture, our family, our friends, the mothers of children who are U.S.-born citizens disappeared into the night and sent to God knows where, in God only knows terrible conditions, deported to countries they are not from, to slave encampments, to concentration camps, unnamed, deprived of their rights, their property, their money, never to be seen again. Others shot in the back, on the ground, their hands splayed, their eyes full of pepper spray.
Excuse me.
Disarmed explicitly 2 full seconds after they were disarmed, shot in the back in front of all of us. A true community servant who worked for my VA.
Excuse me, sir, your time is up. Thank you.
Everything this young man said is true, except you replaced every time he said federal with white. It's white supremacy. That's what it is. It is not federal supremacy. It is white supremacy, government.
That's right.
Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.